Good evening, everyone. This is week 22 of Spotlight on Strategies, and I am Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the success strategist. Today, we are going to be talking about for your organization, no matter whether you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, business leader, the power of performance management. Why does this matter so much for you? Because if we are looking to 10x and 25x our organizations, we need to understand every single minute of every single day, of every single month, of every single quarter, of every single year. How are we doing against our goals? Because we have created a strategic framework. We have created mission and strategic alignment. We have put our goalposts and we are knocking it out of the park performance wise. But how do we know if we need to pivot? How do we know if we're on track? How do we know if we need to apply more resources? How do we know if we need to rebalance our portfolio? The only way we know is if we have a proper performance management system in place to do this. And today we are going to talk about the six major functional areas of a awesome performance management system that's easy and useful and impactful no matter what size business you are. If you're thinking about starting a business, you're thinking about doing this for your life in general from a career standpoint. It doesn't matter really what we apply it against. What matters most is that we have the elements, we create the framework, we put it into action, and we continuously improve the process, the technology, and our resourcing that we're putting against this. So, again, the power of performance management. First and foremost, do you have a cohesive operational view? If we don't have integrated data dashboard and a scorecard, how do we know how we're doing against our strategic goals and our initiatives? We really need to understand how we're doing against our goals. And first and foremost will be creating a dashboard and a scorecard. Second will be, do we have focus? Are our resources and our efforts focused on the most critical areas? And what are we most concerned with here? Prioritizing tasks and prioritizing projects that directly impact our strategic goals. So if we have our strategic framework in place, we have applied innovation and improvement. We have created the construct, our targets, our KPIs, our OKRs. We need to understand what we need to prioritize from a people, process, and technology resourcing and a funding perspective. That strategic framework, dashboard, and scorecard gives us the high level. Then we need to focus and prioritize. The strategic priorities of those goals and objectives are going to help us focus on the 20% of the activities that's going to generate the 80% of our revenue and our results. So we're going to utilize methodologies and tools to maintain a clear focus on our key initiatives, and we're going to pull them from number one, our integrated strategic framework. Number three, engagement and productivity. This is not a single person's function. Performance management, like quality and security, is everyone's job. Why? Because we need to create and cultivate a shared vision, right? Engagement and productivity really is a cultural movement that we're creating in our organizations that says we're all rowing in the same direction at the same speed so that we are hitting it out of the park from an acceleration and a rate perspective. We do not want to be going in circles and we do not want to be stopped. We don't have to wait for wind because we have our team, we have our leadership, we have our clients, we have our partners. We are all going to be rowing in a phenomenal rate of speed because we're going to have the right people in the right seats doing the right thing so that we get optimal performance. Key to this is that shared vision. Think about when you started your organization, you probably just didn't do stuff, right? You had a vision, you had a mission, you have your strategic goals, you have your objectives, you get funding, and you apply your funding against that. What's going to either generate the most amount of revenue for you, generate the most amount of client leads, or cut cost as much as possible, right? So we have to create a shared vision about what is the outcomes, what is the impact that's inspiring and motivating to the team. And then we need to encourage a culture of innovation. We need to empower our contractors, empower our leaders, empower our staff to contribute ideas and create value on an ongoing daily basis, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month. It's in the harnessing of the talent and their ingenuity where your organization is going to benefit the most. Engagement and productivity. 4, data-driven decisioning. Are we systematically collecting and analyzing performance data? Right? We need to use analytics because they help us identify trends. They help us pinpoint areas for improvement. Remember, 20% of the functions or operational functions that we undertake every single day should be generating 80% of our results, our outcomes, our revenue, etc. So are we focused on the right thing? The only way we know is if we qualitatively and quantitatively mine our data for what else can we be doing to move the needle from a scale standpoint. The analytics and AI help us here because it helps identify the areas for the greatest innovation and improvement. Number 5, accountability. Does each person know how their efforts align with organizational objectives and outcomes, right? It's not a solo function. We need every person on deck batting. You don't have to hit it to the hills, right? Every day, every person does not need a home run. But what we do need is we need people who can hit home runs. We need people who can hit triples. We need people who can hit doubles. We need people who can hit a single. We need people who can bunt. We need people who can steal bases, right? We need the entire team focused on generating those results and outcomes with them being symbiotic and integrated so that we don't have redundancy and that each person plays an important part in the outcomes. We also need them to understand how their contributions enable that organization's strategic goals to be actualized. And we need that front and center. We need to make it visible in our dashboard. We need to make it visible in our scorecard so they can see themselves in the success of the organization. And then we need to foster a performance-oriented culture, right? We need to not only hold them accountable, we need to recognize, we need to reward, we need to create incentives so that people are hungry for that next level of achievement and success. And last but not least is that momentum we just talked about. Our challenges addressed, our timely adjustments made, and are we recognizing the great contributions? We want people to want to scale 10x, 15x, 20x, 25x, 100x, if that's possible, right? Especially if you're a solopreneur entrepreneur. Again, 20% of our operational functionality should be generating 80% of our results. The only way we get there is through harnessing ingenuity, innovation, and our ideas of our organization. That can come from internal, that can come from external, but we need to have a culture and a recognition and a respect and an invitation to keep that momentum up. Stay hungry. because we want to celebrate the wins. We want to build confidence. We want to maintain our motivation. We want to revisit. We want to refine. And most of all, we want to ensure continuous improvement. It's innovation, it's impact. Those are the things that, if you create the right level of momentum, is going to help spawn the next level, the next level, the next level of the 20% that you need to focus on. And what's the 80% of the rest that you can let go of because it's not going to help you scale. This is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, the success strategist, bringing you the power of performance management. If you don't have one in place, please reach out. Advisor one at successstrategist.com or CEO at GBLINNOV.com. We're happy to help you put in place your performance management framework to help you scale 10x to 25x. Join us next week where we'll talk about more business and entrepreneur ideas and innovations to help you scale it out of the park.